Yo Book Nerds, today I want to talk about ebooks and e-readers. So obviously I like to physically read a book. To me, there is nothing like sitting down with a physical book, reading it, holding it, smelling it. You know you do it too. Like, there is nothing like it. Like, it's so cozy to just like curl up with a physical book. And to me, it is so satisfying to like watch my bookmark, start off here and work its way back. Like, that is so satisfying to me. I love watching the progress of my bookmark. Physical reading is my preferred method. I have done ebooks before. Usually it's been for school, for college, or for my teaching career. So I have done ebooks because it's more convenient. I don't have to worry about lugging books around. I can find excerpts online. I can find short stories online. I can purchase textbooks online and read them and store them online. So like, I have used them that way before. I have read nonfiction online, and nothing about reading an ebook, a digital book, was bad to me. I just prefer the physical book. And I'm also a collector. So I love displaying my books, right? Like I get satisfaction from walking into my room and seeing my bookshelves. That in itself also gives me satisfaction besides just physically reading a book. And so, like, yeah, if you don't have space for bookshelves, or if you just don't care, you don't want to have that space taken up, like, I think it's totally valid to use an e-reader. I see no problem with that. If you prefer physical books but you don't have the space, then obviously you can use a library as well. It's not one or the other. But I see value in e-reading. I think it's really dumb when people say, like, if you use an e-reader or you don't physically have a book, that it's not reading. Usually you hear the argument more over audiobooks instead of ebooks, but I have heard it for ebooks as well. And that's just dumb. Like, if you're reading a digital version or if you're reading a physical version, like, that's still reading. And both are fine, but I just definitely prefer physical books. I've been asked before if I would want an e-reader, and I don't. Like, not at all. Like, I don't want one in any way, shape, or form. If someone gave me one, I would tell them thank you, but it would probably go in a drawer and I wouldn't use it. Like, that's honest. Like, I will not use it because I prefer having the physical book. My brother just got into reading this last year, and he was reading physical books. He was borrowing them from me, but then he got an e-reader for Christmas, and now he's been reading on his, I don't know if he has a Kindle or what he has exactly, but he's been reading on that now exclusively, and he really likes it. It's very convenient for him, and I think that's great. I just don't have any interest in doing so myself. Now, since I'm a teacher, there's pros and cons for this as well, like in the classroom. I feel like kids spend so much time on screens that I really like to get students physically reading and get away from the screens. Can't always do that because some of our curriculum is online only, so we have to do the ebook version of it, but it is what it is. I try to encourage kids to read a physical book every now and then because I think that's important. I think it's important to expose kids to pleasure that is not technology related, because more and more kids are just on technology, on devices all the time. If that works for them, great, but I think it's important to expose them to more forms. In school, maybe I'm able to get access to a physical book, which they may not be able to get access to in their normal day-to-day life. Maybe they're low income, they don't have a lot of books at their house, maybe they can't afford books, whatever it is. Like if I am able to physically put a book in a kid's hands for the first time, maybe, that's a cool experience. If I'm able to get them to the library to open up their world a little more, their physical world a little more, I think that's really cool, because just more and more kids are on devices all the time, and I think it's so important to have some non-screen time. And what better way to have non-screen time than with a book, right? But if e-reading is the way they prefer, and like that's what they choose to do for their own reading in their own free time, I totally support that. But in my classroom, I definitely try to push physical reading over e-reading. But that's just me. Another English teacher might have a different opinion, but that's what I do. With my own kids, like I'm a mom, so I also push physical reading. None of my kids have an e-reader. They read physical books. I buy them physical books. We go to the library. Again, I want them to have that separation from all the technology that just bombards kids every day. I want to show my own kids a love of physical books, and so I try to fill our house with physical books. If they end up not wanting to read or wanting to only read ebooks, like, I'm not going to be mad about that. I will keep encouraging them to read overall, but in the end, I just care about them reading. But I try to push the physical reading, and maybe they'll be e-readers someday. I don't know. I apologize for my voice in this video if I sound weird. I have a cold. I can't help it. It's just, it is what it is. I'm dealing with some congestion here. I've had it for weeks and it won't go away. It's driving me crazy. But anyway, I just wanted to, I don't know, just give my 2 cents on e-reading and how I personally feel about it. I don't see anything wrong with it at all. I just personally don't want to e-read. And I try to push physical reading with my own kids and with my students. Like, I'm all about the physical book, right? I love having this. And some people have said, like, oh, what if your house burns down? Like, you know what? If my house burns down, I have bigger problems than if I lose my literature, right? I can go to the library. I'm not concerned about, like, if this gets damaged and somehow if my basement floods, because my books are in the basement, if my basement floods, like, again, it would suck, but bigger picture, I can replace these. I can go to the library. The same thing could be said about ebooks. I know, like, that's the argument, is like, oh, if you have ebooks, you know, they can't get damaged, but you run out of storage, or your battery dies. The battery doesn't die on this, right? Like, you know, files can get corrupted. Like, there's problems with either option. Neither one is perfect, so you just gotta pick your battles, right? I am always going to pick the physical book over an ebook. Anyway, drop down in the comments and let me know, are you a physical book reader or do you like ebooks? I would love to chat. What pros and cons do you see for each one? Or what were your thoughts on my reasonings behind what I do? Like, I'd love to have a conversation with you. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will talk to you next Monday. Hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for talking books with me.